both Rupert and I were a little jumpy at the start of the season. We thought, insert new romantic interest here. Like we like to get romantic, as a people. So yeah, I mean, we understood that there was this hole, and we didn't want to just be, for it to be filled out of like a sense of desperation, or whatever. I know that was not going to ever be the case because I trust this group so implicitly. But yeah, so suddenly we're sort of like, oh, okay. But yeah, it was always fun. That dynamic was always fun because in some ways he is so similar to her, and she's so very rarely challenged by another outlier. I thought it was very amusing how affronted she was. She was by that and threatened by that. And that kind of exposed a different kind of vulnerability that we don't typically see in her. And because they are so similar, they were kind of repellent. They repel one another and also attract one another. So that's always a lot of fun to play with. But I think at the end of the season, they had just been through such a harrowing, traumatic experience, and they suddenly were kind of jettisoned back into civilian life and were really struggling, really kind of displaced and disoriented, and there was nobody else on. I mean, I think they kind of psychically and emotionally they were still in Pakistan. So I think that romantic gesture, that feeling of need, was really about that more than any true desire to be with each other. Or maybe they could have been, but they both struggled with intimacy, and and I think it was actually it was interesting because he was kind of pleading with her to be human and emotionally connected, and she was not in a position to hear him, and responded very violently, actually. But then it's able to register, and she follows the missive. I mean, she does that, and she goes through a real odyssey in order to do that, and she comes out on the other side, actually a fairly kind of integrated person again, and she says, okay, here I am, and it's just a matter of, that they weren't able to actually meet when it might have been possible, so then there's some Shakespearean frustration there.